Good morning, beans. It's actually Tuesday morning, it's not Monday morning. I didn't have time to record any talking yesterday, so I'm doing it now. So yesterday morning was my usual tempo run. I ran 11 kilometers total and I did 5 kilometers of that at tempo pace. I've just been working on trying to rein in the tempo pace a little bit because I was pushing it a little bit too hard previously, so I'm just trying to focus on being a little bit more consistent with the pacing and making sure I can maintain that kind of pace, or feel like I can maintain that kind of pace for like a long time, because I want to increase my tempo runs to have 8 kilometer tempo segments in the next 2 or 3 weeks. So I need to make sure that pace is sustainable. After I came back from a run, had breakfast and stuff, it's exactly the same breakfast as the Monday morning breakfast I showed you last week, so I did not film that again. And then I did some work on the business stuff, and then I went to do my lifting session, which again this week lifting is just sort of doing stuff. It's not hugely structured, just kind of moving around a bit and making sure I'm doing something to maintain. And then in a couple of weeks I'll be moving on to like specific training, strength training. After I did my lifting session, I was supposed to have a client, but they cancelled on me last minute, so I did not have a client. And I just went to my other job for the remainder of the evening instead. So yeah, that was a bit disappointing, but it's sort of early days of the business. I'm still figuring out how to set like boundaries and stuff to avoid stuff like this happening. So working on it. For those interested, the business is I'm moving into freelance personal training work, but I want to have a focus on runners and doing strength training for runners to avoid injury prevention and to improve performance. So that's kind of the long-term goal, but obviously at the minute I'm working with whoever asks because I can't afford to be picky. I will put a link to my website and social medias for the business down in the description below. I do also have a YouTube channel for the business, which I'm going to be using for just putting up like advice videos and tutorial videos and stuff. We do have a free 16-week bodyweight program aimed at runners on the website at the minute, and it will have a companion video series with it, so yeah, check that out if you're interested. Right, the plans for Tuesday. So I'm gonna have some breakfast. I've got a couple of clients this morning. They're my regulars and I know they're not gonna randomly cancel on me last minute, so that'll be fine. So I'm gonna go coach my clients, come back, and then probably do some core work. I've got to go for a little run at some point with Greg, but we'll just probably fit that into his lunch break. And then yeah, basically doing more work for the rest of the day. I don't think we've got any plans this evening, so I think this evening I'll probably just play some video games or something, have a little bit of a chill out, because things are pretty busy at the minute, so I'm just trying to like grab time to relax when it appears. All right, I will catch you in a bit. Morning folks, it's Wednesday morning. It is 6:15. I'm going to leave the run slightly later. I normally have to go at about 6:30 on a Wednesday, but I'm gonna leave it a little bit later, so just so I can digest my my pre-run snack a little bit better. Because at the minute I've been shoving it in my mouth about now and then starting my run 15 minutes later, which is not good. So I'm going to try and digest my food a bit better, and then yeah, so similar workout to last week. I'm going to run 4x3 plus minute hill reps, and it's just a really local hill that's not that steep today, just because I want to see if I can get better on the Strava segment. That's what it's all about, really. Can you get onto the top of the leaderboard on a Strava segment? So yeah, 10k total, and then including 4x3 plus minute hill reps, and that'll be the workout for today. And then a little bit later, I help out with a Couch to 5k group, so I'll probably run about 3k with them, jog 3k with them, and then I've got a lifting session, and then work in the evening. So that's the plan for today, and I'll insert whatever clips I manage to film. Hello, it is Thursday. So yesterday I've inserted clips of most of what happened. So the run went well, my hill session went well. I got a course record in a Strava segment, but it's only a Strava segment with like 60 people on it, so not that big of a deal, but it's still nice to have. So that happened. It was a very wet, cold, miserable run. I did not film any of it because it was wet, cold and miserable. There's not much else to say there. So I then kind of spaced out for 2 hours and then I went in to help with a Couch to 5k program that I help run at the minute. So we ran about 3k with them and they're doing really well, and we're all set for doing a park run together in the beginning of December. So looking forward to that, and yeah, like I said, they're doing really well. I'm really pleased with them. Then I ate lunch and 800 calories worth of chocolate cookies. Great nutrition, I know. And then I went and did my lifting session, which at the minute is still, like I said, it's still kind of, I'm playing around a little bit and I'm not doing anything too serious. It's just maintaining and just doing bits and pieces until, I think I've got a couple of weeks until I start kind of doing eccentric loaded strength training. So we'll get into the meat of that when I get there. Thursdays are a rest day, so I will probably do some core work at some point in between the bits of work that I'm doing. Yeah, I'll do some core work and then I'm going bouldering later. It's the plan. So that's the exercise for today. I don't usually run on Thursdays, and then tomorrow is my long run, which I'm just going to do locally. I'm not going to drive out into the peaks because of fuel prices. I've been trying to like sort of aggressively plan when I do my like drives out into the peaks for long runs. So I'm trying to like alternate a little bit and do sort of local runs one week and then a peaks run the next week, local run the next week, peaks run, and just alternate it like that where possible. Doesn't always balance out like that, but just to avoid driving quite so much, because obviously fuel prices are quite high now. Alright, so that's the plan. I won't really have that much interesting to film today, I don't think. If I film anything at bouldering, then I'll insert it, so you can get a look at me climbing up things. But yeah, that's all that's going on today. I'll get back to you tomorrow. It's a Friday and I'm out on my long run. So the plan is 20 kilometers. I've run kind of from my doorstep, and then I'm going to head up into Warncliffe Woods and just do a big loop of Warncliffe. And that'll be the route for today. Planning on taking it pretty easy. And then there's like 1 or 2 segments that I might push it on, I think. But we'll see how I feel. We're now in Warncliffe Woods, so I'm just having a jog up this hill, and we'll be wiggling our way through various trails. And then I'll probably bring you back when we're up on the crags. Steep bit. I am finding it quite difficult at the minute. Like, there's obviously a bit of like seasonal affective disorder creeping in, and pressure to do with trying to start up a new business and constantly being terrified you're going to fail. That kind of thing, you know. So that's all there. And Christmas is coming up, which is always a difficult time of year. So it has been quite difficult to get myself out the door for runs, and it's always better when I do, but that weight feels almost unshiftable sometimes. So yeah, I mean, today I'll let myself sleep in a bit, because
Fridays are kind of I try and have a day off from work, or most of a day off. I do have an online client this evening, so I try to just go from a long run and then like come back and eat and have a bath. But it's still hard. Like, there's definitely still part of me that just wanted to not get out of bed, stay there all day. So yeah, it's difficult, but it's just trying to find it's just sheer force of will. I don't think there's there's no trick to it. There's no trick to getting yourself out the door. It's sheer force of will. Well, that's the only way I've ever found that seems to work. No amount of tricks or tips or hacks is ever gonna help. And like, I have a learning impairment, which affects a lot of things. Kind of learning impairment, neurological disorder, whatever you want to call it. So that impacts a lot of stuff as well. Like, so it all just like compiles into one big. This path is just a river. just yeah, it piles up. But yeah, it is just finding the will to get out the door, and if you can keep getting out the door, it becomes a little bit easier to keep getting out the door. I feel like if I let myself slip too often, then it just becomes harder and harder. So yeah, anyway, that was me rambling about mental health. Look after yourselves. Take your vitamin D. Alright, we're into the last bit of the run now. Yeah, it's been fine. Just trying to not go too quickly. Apart from like segments where I've agreed that I'll go a bit faster. So yeah, it's been good. Glorious day. And I'm gonna go home. I'm gonna eat pancakes, I think. Have a bath. And then I've got a online client later. And then grocery shopping and playing video games this evening. That's the plan for the rest of the day. And I will check back in before the weekend's out, just to update you on what the weekend looks like, because I forgot to film anything last weekend, so trying to remember to do it this weekend.